Peace, all you STEM professionals, mentors, mentees, students, and enthusiasts. It's your brother, Jabrilian Engineer, and Tariq Cardiac, and welcome to the STEM Files, the voice of STEM talent in Black culture. Presents STEM influencer courageous in the face of our enemies. On tonight's show, we're going to build with Raven Baxter, aka Raven the Science Maven, STEM influencer, fashionista, rapper, and molecular biologist on what she does and what she may have interacted with in the workplace. Tune in for more after this. Let's go. Awesome, awesome family. We are in the building. I see you, brother Anthony X family. This is the STEM Files, voice of STEM talent in Black culture, where we highlight the best and brightest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Again, I'm your humble brother, Jabril Muhammad, aka Jabril Engineer. I am a civilian mechanical engineer with a background who focuses on naval ship fluid systems, with a background in material science and engineering. I am joined by my illustrious, as I said, illustrious co-host, Tariq Muhammad, aka Tariq Cardiac. What's going on, bro?
Yes, yes. Welcome back to the STEM Files family. Like Jabril said, my name is Tariq Muhammad, aka Tariq Cardiac. I am a biomedical research scientist with a concentration or background in cardiovascular pathobiology, which is the study of how diseases form in the heart and blood vessels. I am excited for tonight's show. Can't wait to get it in.
Yes, sir. All praises to Allah family. We have an awesome, awesome treat for you tonight. As we always say, it's not about us, it's about those who we bring on. Raven Baxter, aka Raven the Science Maven. Her story is phenomenal. Her work is impeccable, and her influence in the STEM world. If you look at her on social media, a lot of great videos, and she does it in a very
Yes,
modern
yes.
context, really teaching us about things whereas we can like really consume it in a fun way, right, in a very modern way. So we definitely appreciate all that she brings to the table. As she is getting ready to come on, we definitely want to share with you a bit of what lies at the foundation of today's conversation. Uh, our sister was recently on the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, Willow Smith, as well as Sister Tamika Mallory, and they were talking about an experience she had in the workplace. So as we get ready to gear toward going forward, we want to pull that up and share that with you this evening.
All right, check it out, family.
Joining the table is Raven Baxter, an accomplished scientist who says on her first day of work, a colleague threatened to call the cops.
Good Lord.
Wow. Raven, welcome to the table, first of all. What happened?
So check this. I'm a molecular scientist. I had a career as a corporate scientist. However, on my first day of work, I was going to check my mail. I'm walking towards the mailroom. Remind you, I am the new hire, so no one knows who I am. I see a white woman who is walking in my direction. So we're walking towards each other. I wave to her. I say, hello. She doesn't return the gesture. But I continue moving, trying to find the mailroom. And then I realize that we are going to the same room. We're now like really facing each other, turning into the mailroom. And she's in front of me. And so she swipes her access card to the room, opens the door, and proceeds to walk in. And I walk in behind her, and then she turns and looks over her shoulder, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Checking my."
We're not going to reveal too much of the video because we want to have our guests talk about it as well. So, welcome, Dr. Baxter. How are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on. We had some technical difficulties on the back end, but I'm so glad I was able to make it.
Oh, it's no problem. We're glad you were able to make it, and we look forward to our conversation tonight.
Yeah, of course. How's everything
Uh,
going?
Pretty good, pretty good. We building the platform. Like Jabril and I like to say, this isn't a show. We like to call this a live networking session where we get to know our guests and they get to know us and what
Awesome.
we do. So it's going to be jam packed with a whole lot of great information exchanged, and hopefully we'll be able to break this interview up into like 100, 1,000 different pieces, and educating our people in the sciences. So we definitely look forward to having you. Jabril, you want to start it off?
Absolutely. Um, like I said, thank you so much, sis, for gracing our platform with your presence. We are excited, following your content off and on throughout. And obviously, when you were in the building for the last year's STEM Success Summit, that's when I kind of first came into contact with what you do. So, just give us a bit of background, technically and in general, about who you are, what you do, and what has brought you to this point today. And then we'll get right into the nitty gritty.
Yeah, so my name is Raven Baxter, and I just finished my doctorate in science education last week.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congrats.
thank you. So I have a background in cell and molecular biology, and I previously worked as a research scientist. And I later decided that, like, although I'm very gifted and talented as a scientist and working in a laboratory, I really wanted to give back to my community and like be involved in a different way in science and play a different role. So I decided to change fields really and go into science education and really fell in love with it. Like, I think that it's a very valuable place for scientists to be, to take that expertise and share it with others. And so that's what I do. Now I consider myself like a science communicator, so somebody who has like a science expertise but engages the public with
Right.
science and makes it fun and engaging. And I do that through music for the most part, but I also do other things as well.
Awesome. Awesome. And,
Awesome.
you know, I love the term science communicator because you could have easily said I'm a science talker, or science presenter, but that doesn't necessarily convey the fact that someone is receiving and giving back to you some semblance of they understood what it is that
Mhm.
you were saying. Right? So
Def-
communication to me does not occur unless both sides meet in the middle and understand what's being conveyed. Right? So can you talk to us, you know, about what that means to you? How do you know that you're communicating science in your field and others effectively? What has been some of your trials, challenges, and successes in that field?
Well, for me, I think the most important part is building community because you could have a whole lot to say about anything. It doesn't even have to be about science. But if you don't have people around you who trust you and respect you and are willing to listen to what you have to say, then, you know, who are you talking to, and who are you serving? So my first priority in talking to people is to just make sure that I've built a community and a platform of people who understand where I'm coming from as a person when I'm speaking and are willing to listen and grow with me. Because, like you said, communication is a two-way street. I don't want to just be
Right.
talking at people. Like, I want to have conversations with the community about things that I care about. And so, in terms of like understanding how to communicate successfully, that is my main goal, honestly, is I feel like I'm successfully communicating if I'm able to have a platform where I formed a community of people who are willing to listen and engage in a conversation about what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So then, like you're saying, it's funny. At work, I had a 3-hour presentation skills lectures, the fourth of four, and one of the things that was discussed is the importance of questions at the end. When you look at social media, if you look at a speaking engagement, right, the ability to create, questions from the audience and have that conversation is so key because it's like, okay, it's not that I didn't so much convey something well, it's that people were that intrigued at times, that intrigued by what I said, and it jogged in their memory or in their conscience. Let me ask this. Let me see if she or he has interacted with this. Did you think about this? I'm interested in this. How can I connect with you? Right. So that's
Exactly.
a very real, you know, facet or product, if you will, of effective communication. So, in that same vein, my next and final question before I turn it back over to my co-host is keeping that in mind. Can you talk to us about those building blocks, right? Cell and molecular biology. What is that? What drew you to that? And for those who may be interested in those fields, what are some skills that they may mature themselves up on?
Yeah, so my background is in cell and molecular biology. I didn't start in that field. I actually started out in environmental science, law and policy. So I wanted to be involved with creating laws and legislations that would protect the planet, which is still very important to me. However, as I progressed throughout my college career, I found out about biology and like biology as a discipline and a subject itself and all of the different things that you can explore in that realm. And I fell in love with genetics and learning about DNA and the genetic code, and just so fascinated with the concept that like there's something that connects every single living thing on the planet, and that is just the genetic code. And um, it really just opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I learned that the branch of biology that genetics is under, like molecular biology and cell biology, there's so many different rabbit holes to go under there, because it's like it's studying a city, like in all the working components of a city. That's how I think of
Right,
cell. And
right,
so, molecular biology is the study of molecules and how they interact with each other to generate life processes. And there's so many branches of it that you could even explore. So that's my realm of things. I always laugh because people ask me questions about things that are bigger than cells sometimes, and I'm like, well, I'm a scientist, but like, you can't be asking me questions about big things that you can see, because a lot of times I don't have answers for that. I study molecules and things that you can't see.
I love
got it,
that.
got it. That
Yeah.
that's dope, and I like how you compared it to a city, because that's how I teach science on my platform and my page and with my students. I give them something that they can actually envision and match that with whatever particular aspect of that city matches what they see around them. So like if they looking at libraries and something that contains information, we know that that can be compared to DNA, RNA, in the nucleus. So it's just a lot of things that you can pull from in your natural environment to teach people about science. So I love that. I love that you do that. You know. So let's talk about your platform. Let's talk about Raven the Science Maven. This episode is called STEM Influencer Courageous in the Face of Our Enemies. Now,
Hmm.
when we say our enemies, we're not talking about a skin color. We're talking about anyone who is against the development or the advancement of Black people.
Go ahead. Go
Anybody,
ahead.
even our own Black people,
Hmm.
anybody. So let's talk about your brand. Talk about the overall scope of what you do with your brand and how that helps to eliminate the problem in our topic today.
Great question.
Yeah. So for me, like even before I was talking about science on my platform, my main priority has been to encourage people to be their authentic selves in any space. My thing with being Black, and being, a Black woman and all these identities that I have as a person, I feel like there are so many boundaries that society places on us as we work and as we pursue things that we're passionate about. You can't act like this, you have to talk like that, you have to dress like this, you can't, X, Y, and Z. And that is so restrictive. I don't like that. I don't think that we deserve I think that we deserve better. We deserve
Mm.
to be able to feel free, as we learn and as we grow, from childhood to adulthood. And so I encourage people as Raven the Science Maven to be their unapologetic selves as they pursue STEM careers, but really just anything. Don't let all of these superficial rules get in the way of you reaching your maximum potential. Because at the end of the day, who's making these rules? We didn't make these rules, so why should I play by some rules that I didn't make that don't serve me? Like that's my
Mm.
yeah.
Rules
So
that don't serve me. I like that.
they don't serve me. Why can't I walk this way, talk this way, dress this way? Because of who? Not because of me.
Mm.
Because I'm fine with this.
Mm.
So that's
Absolutely.
really how I operate, and it's hard. I think for a long time we as the people have we had to. We really, in order to move up and get to where we are today, the people who came before us had to play by these rules. And I really do feel like we've finally gotten to this point now where we don't have to do that anymore. But it takes a really true change in mentality because I feel like we still do think in restrictive ways. And I really just want people to free their mind a little bit as they think about themselves and what they're capable of.
Got it. Got it. Wow. There's a
There's so much
Oh yeah,
in
go
that.
ahead, bro. Yeah,
No,
a
no,
lot.
you keep going, but I'm remembering. Because there's key things that I want to unpack because there's so much in that.
Got you. Got you. All right. So we talked about Raven the Science Maven. We talked about the purpose of your platform. I want to talk about being an influencer in STEM.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many different types of influencers. We have so many different industries that you can be an influencer in. But science, that being the most controversial industry that we have ever had, talk about having a quote unquote influencer status in STEM, and talk about some of the challenges you faced trying to or striving to be an influencer in STEM.
Mm, well, you know what? I'm not even. I won't say that I haven't had challenges, um, but there definitely are challenges. Like there definitely are. I mean, I'm very careful of partnerships that I accept, and as an influencer, I don't just be like, yeah, let's partner together. Like I really do have to sit down and think about what kind of impacts do these companies have on communities, and
Mm.
um what does it say about me that I'm doing X, Y, and Z? And I've turned down so many partnerships, like a lot of really great opportunities that would have been a great bag but wasn't worth it, because when I look into their practices, I'm like, I can't really stand for that. And no company is perfect. Like no person is perfect. A company is a company at the end of the day. But I really do try to partner with people who are genuinely like trying, whether it's trying to do something great for kids or trying to do something great for people of color, Black people in science, or promoting conversations and generating change in science culture. I really just try to choose who I partner with very carefully. But that's really the biggest challenge for me. And I do have faced other challenges, but really it's just those challenges are more so related to like my platform continuing to grow. But it's a you learn as you go. For me, you just learn as you go and you make the best of it.
Excellent, excellent. Jabril.
Yeah, again, so much in that. I love how you talked about not everybody's perfect. And you weigh and choose who you partner with. There's a difference between you doing illegal dumping and you maybe being known for not always being on time with a delivery of a package. Like, okay, both of them are people being not perfect, or one of them is a very, you know, purposeful act. Another one may be a infrastructure issue, right? Or a lack of staffing or what have you, right? It's like we're not so much looking for perfection. It's like, is your heart in the right place? Are you compliant with laws, right? Are you doing things? Are you misappropriating funds, right? All those types of things we're looking for. I want to take a step back. When you talked about restrictions and you talked about rules that don't serve us, that is such a theme that I see in our community and social media in general when it comes to, for example, like, oh, modesty, or what I bring to a relationship, men versus women, gender roles, like wearing a mask, all these things. And one of the things that
Right.
for me gets me is people really confuse freedom with license, right?
Mhm.
True freedom is not that you just do whatever you want whenever you want. The universe doesn't even work like that. We are three scientists and engineers on here, and we understand that after the first law of motion, there's order. Right? If things just moved around with no consequence, you wouldn't be here.
Everything
So
will
I think
destroy
for me,
itself,
there's
right?
a difference between the restriction of, okay, if I'm a child and I'm walking around the house and I go to touch the hot stove and my mother or father pops me and says, don't do that, versus I go out here and, I have a difference of opinion on a particular, you know, aspect of a lifestyle or a particular area in society, and you're saying I can't say that. That's a difference, right? One of them is for your own good. Another one is because I want to maintain a status quo. So in the Nation of Islam, we have a set of restrictive laws, and we understand that they free us because they free us to be our natural selves, as opposed to what society has put out as, okay, this freedom, which is really license. So I think when you said that, you weren't saying we just want to do away with all rules, but does this rule serve us? And if so, tell me or show me how, right?
Mhm.
Like you say it's not professional for me to wear my hair in an afro, but who set up the standard of beauty? Who set up the standard of professionalism? And my thing is, me being in the ivory tower, I see who sets the standard and sets the rules. So is that the rule just because that's what your hair looks like? And that's what you're
Mm.
used to, or is there or is there a merit to that? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to unpack that because it's very important to me that a lot of us, whether we be influencers, professionals, enthusiasts, what have you, that we understand that we should not so much promote incessant assimilation at the expense of creating industries and infrastructure that really serves us.
There you go. That's exactly 100% it. Yeah. Like,
Right.
and I feel like we are still moving in a direction more and more every day where people are starting to question this stuff and be like, okay, well, why am I code switching? Is it necessary? Like,
Mm,
can people still
mm.
understand what I'm saying? Yeah, or do I have to? Like, or can I just kind of chill and be myself? Just little things that contribute to us as a people having to, it's called negotiating our identities in our places that we exist in. It builds up and it builds up and it creates like an imposter syndrome for some people where they feel like they actually can't, like they cannot fit into a mold because they're trying to fit into too many different places at one time that don't necessarily serve them.
Mm. Too many
So,
different places at one time. Right, right, right.
mhm.
Man. So this has been dope. We're already in for about 25 minutes, and we talked about so much, but I'm gonna play the clip again from Red Table Talk that you were on with Jada Pickett, and was it, I think Tamika Mallory was in it as well. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
play that clip, and I want you to kind of give us more of a backstory behind it, and just kind of a reaction to um, what was going on.
Joining the table is Raven Baxter, an accomplished scientist who says on her first day of work, a colleague threatened to call the cops.
Good Lord.
Wow. Raven, welcome to the table, first of all. What happened?
So check this. I'm a molecular scientist. I had a career as a corporate scientist. However, on my first day of work, I was going to check my mail. I'm walking towards the mail room. Remind you, I am the new hire. So no one knows who I am. I see a white woman who is walking in my direction. So we're walking towards each other. I wave to her. I say, hello. She doesn't return the gesture. But I continue moving, trying to find the mailroom. And then I realize that we are going to the same room. We're now like really facing each other, turning into the mailroom. And she's in front of me. And so she swipes her access card to the room, opens the door, and proceeds to walk in. And I walk in behind her. And then she turns and looks over her shoulder. And she's like, what are you doing? And I said, checking my mail. And she says, no, this is the faculty mailroom. And I said, I know, I'm faculty. She's moving very slowly into the room. You can tell she's just not buying it. Not that there was anything to buy. And I proceed to go check my mail. No, I've never been in there. So I look like I'm lost and I don't know what I'm doing. She says, are you sure that you're not getting mail for somebody?
Oh.
And I said, no, I came here to get my mail. I work here. She says, what department? Where's your office? This is when the interrogation starts.
Mm-hmm.
I tell her biology. It's my first day, so I really can't tell you where my office is yet. And I'm just looking for my mailbox. And she says, well, I'm going to have to see your identification. So I take out my ID. It's my faculty ID. It has my photo. It has the date it was issued, the school name, even my position title. And it also had a chip in it that it could scan into the printer. So I even did that. I'm like, hey, look, beep. I can turn on the printer with my ID card. So, kind of leave me alone type of thing. And she said, well, I don't think that's real.
I can't.
And so then, because she did not think my card was real, she decided that it would be appropriate to call law enforcement campus and report me for trespassing and theft.
Oh my God.
So I'm trying to de-escalate the situation because for obvious reasons, I don't want to be involved with the police.
Right, that's right.
And she said, well, you just don't look like you could work in this department. Meaning, I didn't look like a scientist. I didn't look like I could possibly.
So I got so many questions from this. So what really what irritated me the most about this story, even after you showed her your ID card, now your face is on your badge, right?
Yeah, literally everything.
But it's fake, bro. It's fake.
It's fake. But hold on, here's the crazy part. Who goes around faking an ID badge to get into a laboratory?
It was a mail room. It was a mail room.
Who does this?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Somebody crazy would do it, but nobody does that. Nobody does that.
Yeah, right. So tell us about first and foremost, how did you get the call to even be on Red Table Talk? I thought that was pretty dope. That they were paying attention enough to see your story to bring you on the show and talk about this incident. What was that experience like?
That part of the experience was pretty chill. Like I told my story to Mother Jones magazine, so a lot of people read about my experience that I told on Red Table Talk when it was published in this magazine, and they saw it. It was published last year. They didn't reach out until April, and they were like, "Yeah, we read your story. We're huge fans. We would love to have you on our show." I was a part of actually a bigger taping that they decided to separate my story out from an actual episode and make it a standalone piece. But they interviewed other Black women who felt invisible or were made to feel invisible due to things that were happening to them. So, my story wasn't alone. They actually had a whole episode of Black women who, there was one Black woman who was a doctor on a flight and a woman was giving birth. And she was a medical doctor. I think she was I could be wrong, but she knows how to deliver children. There was a white man who's a podiatrist, which is a foot doctor, and is there a doctor on the plane? And they were both
they
like,
asked the
yeah,
podiatrist.
we're doctors. But when it came down to it, they only let the man who was the white dude, the podiatrist, deliver the child. And
Wow.
but get this, they were going back to the black woman who's actually like a delivery person for babies. They were going to her for instructions and giving her instructions to the podiatrist on how to deliver the child.
Unbelievable.
Done. That's
I know.
That's crazy.
Now I could have gotten one or two things wrong with that story because there were a ton of stories. Like you can go back and check it out on Red Table Talk, but it's stuff like that. I'm not the only one. This is a phenomenon that a lot of Black women, and I'm sure Black men, everybody, who's underrepresented in their field has experienced somebody doubting their validity, and it's crazy. People real bold out here. I'm telling you, they very bold.
Yeah.
Listen,
and
I gotta say something.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
because as crazy as the stories are, right? I think one of the things that gets to me more than anything, to be honest, is that we as a people, we as Black people, are still surprised when these things happen. Not all of us, but some of us are surprised when Karens act like Karens. And whatever the male term, act like that. Like we still be like, I can't. Why? Why can't you believe that they did that? Why are we still so infuriated and surprised when we get followed around as delivery people and they want to act like, tell us, show me your idea? Why are we? We can be upset, that's fine, but why are we like, I can't believe that happened? Why can't you believe it? What about it is new data that has yet to be processed?
Yeah, why can't you believe
it? Why can't you believe it? I don't understand. So that's the only thing that kind of grinds my gears, if you will, to use that Family Guy reference. But that just that's my thing. That's my thing. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, well, I was just gonna say, it takes me back to the whole aspect of people picking and choosing who they want to do something, even though they may not be qualified to do it, only because of what they look like or whatever it is that they like about that person, instead of getting the most qualified person in there, regardless of what they look like. So I'm Jabril knows this. Anybody who's ever been on the show knows this, that I'm big on getting the right person for the right topic for the right situation, regardless of what they look like, and this is a perfect case of it. Like how can you, just based on the color of the skin, it's just a lot, a foot doctor, because he's white and you like how he looks, but
that Black woman don't know what she's talking about.
Right. Actual, probably obstetrician or OBGYN. That's insane, But I want to get your thoughts on that whole concept of seeking the qualified and bringing forward the people who actually know what they're talking about to talk about or to deal with a situation.
Yeah, you know what? Like, and I've going along with what you said about like it doesn't even have to be a Black person. Like, just get somebody who's qualified. My thing is, I'm so confident in my own expertise, like as a Black woman, and this kind of goes along with science communication and stuff. Like, I have no problem uplifting, sharing my platform with other Black people. Like, that is a priority for me, making sure that I provide visibility for other Black scientists and Black science communicators and educators. However, people also need to know that you also hang with the other folks too. Like, and you can go toe to toe in a scientific conversation. I can go toe to toe in a scientific conversation with anybody. I don't matter. Don't matter what color you are, where you come from.
Right.
Like,
what's up?
What's up? You want to talk about proteins and stuff? Like, what's up? I got you. Let's talk about chemistry. Right. Like, okay. So when it comes down to like, okay, who's an expert, who's whatever, bring it. Who's gotta come play on the field? Like, let's go. It's about the science at the end of the day. So if that person happens to be a Black person, I think that's fantastic. I think that's amazing because I know how hard it can be for us to get to these places. But if not, like, I'm also like, yo, what's up? Like, I can also have a conversation with you. And I think that's I don't know if I'm verbalizing this the way that I really want to, but I think it is, as we become comfortable, I'm about to go on like a semi-tangent, but like as we become comfortable where we are and owning our spaces and voices as Black people, I really want us to like also become confident, like being competitive with everybody. And not just surviving, but thriving and like being able to compete and like feel confident. I would love to see young Black scientists come out of school and be like, yo, I'm ready for everybody. Like, let's go, and not feel like they have to go a fight or a battle, Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about experts in the field. It's a confidence thing.
Yeah, it definitely is. It most definitely is, and it's, we also have to take responsibility for it too as well, because when we're not sought after or when we're not asked to do something and they would rather see someone less qualified do it purely because of, their connection to them or their, liking their personality rather than what they can actually bring to the table. We also have to look at ourselves too. Like what could we have done better to make ourselves more sought after? It's one thing to be a Black cardiologist, but are you a Black cardiologist that's hell bent on making sure that the people in our community have lower cholesterol, a lower obesity rate? Are you that guy? Are you that woman?
I love that you said that, because especially now at graduation season, I see a lot of people like, I'm the first Black person to graduate with this degree from this school. And I'm like, that is amazing. But what else? Like, come
on now.
I understand that you shouldn't have been the first Black person. That's not on you. But like, besides being the first Black person to graduate from this program, like, what else do you have to say about your legacy? Because
oh my God, yes.
And I'm not saying that we have to do it all, but like, I'm challenging these next generations to not focus on being the first. I'm the first to do this. I'm the first Black person to blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, be the first, because we still have so many barriers to break, but also focus on turning around and making sure that you got the next generation, that you're contributing in some way to the community, that on your resume, you're not going to put, I was the first Black person to graduate from such and such university with this degree. Like, you don't even really put that on your resume. So like,
no.
What are we doing? What else are we doing? And that kind of goes back to what you were saying, like, okay, you're a Black cardiologist, but like, what else are we doing? Besides saying, look at me, I'm a Black cardiologist. Like, let's grow in more ways. Let's set other goals for ourselves. And I just, that's how I think about it. And I don't like saying that a lot because it does seem pessimistic, and that's very like not my personality, but I challenge myself to be more than just a Black scientist, more than just, a smart Black lady, funny Black lady. Like, I try to be well-rounded. And that's how I view it.
We totally agree.
Can I tap in?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. You don't gotta ask to tap in.
That is the segment of the night.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna listen. Because I'm like, okay, you got two people. You the first person to graduate with Black person to graduate with honors from this program, whatever. Are you more valuable than the 789th person to graduate from the school that also cured cancer? I mean, I'm just saying. What I'm saying is, like, I may not be the first person in my family to graduate from school. I may not be the first Black person to ever be financially free, but we seem to want applause and recognition more than advancement. And my thing is, when you talk about influence, when you talk about money, when you talk about like being in certain circles, all of that in our minds should be a means to an end. We shouldn't so much feel so good that we're sitting at a table in this exclusive society making this amount of money when we look at people around us, Black, white, or indifferent, but particularly like you and I, that are suffering. Like we love to talk about move like the wolves do, pull yourself up out of bootstraps. I got mine, secure my family, I got the bag. Well, what else did you do? So many people get the bag today. That's not special no more. I'm saying, and I'm talking as one who is still working on securing himself and his family. But like, I don't really care that you secured the bag. Great, awesome, Black, family good, family straight. But damn it, you still got a high level of incarcerated Black males and women. You still got us being mistreated in this country, right? So can we look beyond this paradigm of things, and can you start to create infrastructure that is for us and by us through and through? That's what I'm talking about. And I'm not just talking about Black capitalism or having supermarkets or whatever. Like the whole system of things. I'm going to end it with this thing. The only reason why getting the bag and this concept of being rich is so sought after, because this world makes honest people and people who work for a living impossible to sustain themselves dang near. Mm-hmm. So really, you should desire to work versus kind of have to work to really dang near survive. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole concept of people, like we mad at people who flipping burgers that they make close to what we make on a skilled laborer. What is that? We mad people getting unemployment. Well, dang it, they making more being at home.
For what? Exactly, for what?
So my thing is, we out here blood sucking and then mad at people when they work and they get a certain pay, mad at people when they don't work and get paid. Like what do you want? We can't be like, people can't be that greedy, but they are. So like, be careful before we turn into the same wolves you're trying to escape.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's all I want to say. And it's really passionate. I'm tired of like this real like cutthroaty stuff that we keep doing on social media. And I'm tired of like that. Just come together and let's move forward. Then we can have all these conversations and debates and all that stuff afterwards, man. Like the new flex is, damn it, is the Black family secure? That's the new flex. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
The new flex. God dang, well, I'm done. Go ahead, bro.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. And matter of fact, speaking of Black people coming together, I want to take the time to do the Black business highlight. You know, this couldn't be a better time to do that. We have a company called Blocal, and that's exactly how it sounds, Blocal. It is a company founded by a Richmond, Virginia native, Markeisha Harris. What she did was create, and this is a $1 million directory now. She created a directory, an app where you can find every Black business in your area. It doesn't matter if you're in Austin, Texas. It doesn't matter if you're in San Francisco, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Richmond, Virginia. She has every Black business that you can think of in this one directory. And if you are a Black business or up and coming Black business, see about getting on this directory. It's called Blocal, Black Local Business Search. Go ahead and tap in. The link is in the description if you're watching on YouTube, and the link is also in the Facebook caption if you're watching on Facebook. But definitely tap into that. We definitely plan on having her on the platform sometime in the future to talk about what she does. She's right here in my city, Richmond, Virginia. So I definitely want to have her on just because of that. You know, so definitely tap in. And we, as Original Man Scientific, plan to be on this platform as well. But let's get back to the show. I just wanted to plug that in there before the show ended, and I done forgot. But that was the perfect time to do it. Man,
I definitely was going to talk to the end by accident, so I'm glad you did that.
by accident, okay. But this has been a great show. We have Dr. Raven Baxter. Now, for anybody that grew up in our generation, Raven Baxter means a lot. So that's like a character that from Disney Channel that Raven Simone played on a show called That's So Raven. So did you brand yourself as Raven the Science Maven to kind of avoid that, or was it just by, or was that even involved at all?
Well, I really didn't even watch That So Raven when I was a kid.
Oh my God, that's a whole nother conversation.
Wow, right. Never mind it.
Well, I mean, it just wasn't like, I don't know. I wasn't too young for it, but like I think once somebody told me that they were using my name, I was like, dang, I don't even want to watch it no more. Like they stole my name, they stole my logo, they stole my whole vibe. Like, yo, that's crazy. No, but actually, I came up with Raven the Science Maven because I was a Megan Thee Stallion fan.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was gonna be like Raven the Scientist, and I'm like, that's whack. And then I was like, well, does anything rhyme with Raven? And I was like, Maven, so I'm like Raven the Science Maven, and I'm like, nah, how about just Raven the Science Maven? And that's how I came up with that. A lot of people think I came up with it from Bill Nye the Science Guy, which is like, no, like
nah, I'm straight on that. Okay, dope. Okay, and you're also a rapper too, right? You do a little music.
I do.
Okay, so we got a special clip from one of your videos on how to keep yourself clean. This is I think at the start of the pandemic, so it's about a year old now. But so we got right. We got a segment in the show we like to call the social media tap in, where we pull from your social media and we ask you about it, go more in depth in it. So at this time we're gonna play that video and then we're gonna talk about it a little bit after that. You ready?
Okay, yeah, let's go.
All right.
Lights off, wipe it down, Clorox, wipe it down, lights off, wipe it down, Clorox, wipe it down, wash your body, wash your hair, and wash your hands too. Get some soap, scrub it down, and show me how you do it. Lights off, wipe it down, Clorox, wipe it down, lights off, wipe it down, Clorox, wipe it down, wash your body, wash your hair, and wash your hands too. Get some soap, scrub it down, and show me how you do it. I ain't trying to catch the virus, you can call me on my wallet. Scientist up in the lab all day, and we've been working tireless. Quarantine, that's the thing, when we're making vaccines, cause you ain't gon' catch me slipping on no breathing machine. We gotta cancel everything, yup, cancel everything. Hold it down in your house, call it social distancing. Get out each other's face, limiting the visiting. Let me tell you what we know about COVID-19. It's a virus with a corona, a crown like a queen. Spreads around in crowds, infects human beings. Little droplets that form and cause diseases. We're still learning about the new diseases. Take a back to rap like Joseph Simmons. Rev run on a treadmill, work your fitness. Do what you gotta do, don't pass the sickness.
All right, so
y'all, she switched the flow. I'm done. Nope. I'm gonna let her talk about it because y'all ain't hear, y'all ain't see what I saw. Y'all go ahead. Yep. Nope.
Y'all fun.
I'm not even going. You switched the flow, but we're not gonna talk about it. Yep.
So tell us more about that. What was the making of that like?
Well, so we got locked in our house by Governor Cuomo. I'm in New York, so
stand up.
We got locked up. They wouldn't let us out. Like it was looking slow for us. So I was like, yo, what are we gonna do? Because it was looking like, I had been tracking the coronavirus since January, and March rolled around and they were like, nah, y'all got to stay in the house. And I was like, we about to be in the house for a minute. Like, and nobody really understood that. Everybody I was talking to was like, no, give it 2 weeks. We gonna be back in 2 weeks. I'm like, you don't understand.
No, hell no.
Here for a year. They were like, a year. I'm like, I promise it's gonna be a year. Nobody listened. So I'm like, well, let me do what I can do so people understand. Like in the meantime, this was before we even were talking about wearing a mask. So I was like, okay, wash your hands, like let's wash our hands, social distancing, like I'm not playing with y'all. And I made this video, I wrote the song in literally like 20 minutes because I was so like irritated. I was like, y'all gonna learn today. And so
pain is the mother of creativity, right?
Right. And I was like, you know what, this will go great with Lil Boozy, Wipe Me Down. And I was like, let me get the instrumental. So I just recorded it real quick. And I was like, dang, I should just make a music video, but I can't leave the house. So what am I about to do? And so I just different places in my house, just dancing and washing my hands and put it on my personal Facebook. I didn't put it on like in public for a couple days, but then every one of my Facebook friends was like, you need to put this like in public. I'm like, why would I do that? This is corny. Like, nobody, this would be so bad. You know, this is just for y'all. And no, they were like, no, we think this is gonna go viral. And so I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, we about to be in the house for a year. Y'all don't believe me, but what do I have to lose? So I put it out viral. It was on like every news station, like in Hawaii, it was on the local news. It was on the news in California, to Wisconsin, to New York, everywhere, Miami. Like everybody was playing this song, and like I have so many video clips of news anchors dancing to the music as they played it. It's super cute. But yeah, that's what happened with that song, and I just kept making music. But I had actually put out music before that as well.
Got you.
I just gotta say, I have to like, so I'm listening to it. So you reel us in with the quick flow. You know what I'm saying? We got the cadence instead of a certain cadence. Then after you say COVID-19, then you switch it up, and then you got the cadence jumping in certain. Look, I saw what you did, and I'm trying to tell people to understand. Like, I don't even call myself a real like rap fan, but I know enough to know when somebody knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And like,
yes.
like you rode the beat something crazy. Like I'm just gonna throw that out there. You rode the beat something crazy. I'm sitting there and I'm flowing. There's like, oh, I gotta change the wait. Hold, I gotta change the stuff. Wait a minute. Hold on.
You're so crazy.
That was
Yo, I need y'all to hype me up every time I write something for real, cause this is.
I'm gonna do that.
We got you.
I take my pay
Oh.
sandwiches.
And sandwiches.
He said, "Feed me. I got you. The sandwich ain't no problem.
Oh my god.
Like it. Like, get it go.
As long as it's not no exotic meats, I can't obtain like no Kobe beef or something like.
No,
I'm
a pescatarian, so it's pretty simple.
Oh, nice. Simple. Okay, we can get you some tuna fillets or whatever. Okay.
Wow. Now you can see. Now you're getting all this from Jabril in this one night. I get this every day, every week. You know, this is the magnificence of Jabril. You know, so anybody, thank you all for tapping in. This has been a great show. We're at 53 minutes. Jabril, so can we talk about this week in the Final Call?
Of course. Why not? Let's get to it. Family, we will be remiss if we talk about the Final Call newspaper. This is the #1 tool for the #1 program of the Nation of Islam to deliver the dead to the Lamb of God, right? This is a call to action. This is talking about a petition with regard to the vaccine. You know, we have a number of people who are for or against the vaccine for a number of reasons, but with regard to this, trying to halt the rollout with regard to children. If you want to learn more about this, definitely tap in at www.finalcalldigital.com to get your copy. If you want to get it physically, tap in with myself or Brother Tariq if you're in the Philadelphia, Greater Philadelphia, or Virginia area if you want to learn more about that. Family, this is an awesome paper. Local, national, international news. Definitely a health and wellness piece if you want to understand what the Muslims believe and what we want. It's in the back inside page, but a very thorough paper that's for us and by us. Definitely get your copy today or as soon as possible.
Yes. And also, the next episode of the STEM Files, we will be welcoming back Professor Kelly Knight. She is a forensic scientist. and on forensic scientists on the industry level and in the academic level. She'll be joining us this coming Saturday, June 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This will be her second time on the platform. We'll be catching up with what she's doing in forensic sciences, her nonprofits, her businesses, and we'll also be talking about forensic science and the role of in obtaining justice, especially as it relates to our people and what we're currently going through. So definitely tap in this Saturday, June 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, same place, same two Black, powerful young men, same Facebook, same YouTube. It's all there. So tap in. Dr. Raven, is there anything that you want to leave the audience with or anything? Matter of fact, we're going to ask you two questions. First and foremost, is there anything that you want to ask us? Like we mentioned earlier on the show, this is not just a regular show. We don't even like calling it a show. It's a live networking session where we get to know each other. So is there anything that you like to know about us and what we do on this side of things?
I would love to know what y'all's vision is for this initiative, and like what ultimately do you want to see as a product of this and your impact on the community?
Jabril, you want to take that?
She asked us a question without even telling her that she was going to get the interview spot. So that's
right.
So I'll start that. I'll start that off. So definitely great question. Like we said, with the STEM files, right? The goal is it's the voice of STEM talent and Black culture. We want to really highlight. We want to unpack, and we want to connect. The biggest thing, first and foremost, is letting other Black people, whether it be children, teenagers, professionals, enthusiasts, mentors, mentees, what have you, that there are people in science who look like you and I. Black is and has always been STEM. So don't let somebody tell you because at this company or in this country or what have you, you don't see too many people. We've been here. We've been doing this. We bring people and we drive traffic to the show. This is someone you can connect with. This is a potential mentor, a potential collaborator, a potential partner, right? And we want to kind of remix the mindset about professionalism, right? You don't only have to, go get a good job and try to ascend to the heights of the ivory tower, right? You can leverage whatever skill set, whether it be through social media, through the traditional educational system, through a certificate, create a business or an infrastructure for yourself and create a legacy. We want to have more of our people not so much creating these awesome resumes just to go and get a job, but to understand your resume represents hopefully a skill set. And if you partnering either with someone else or even yourself want to kind of get an understanding of what you can do, like sometimes it may be a lot better than going into debt if you have to. And not that everybody has to, but listen, I know so many people that go through school, you have a certain level of debt. Now you're spending a lot of time paying this back. And not that you don't have to go to school for certain things, but understand that success, right, or education and schooling is not the same thing. And we try to talk about that and promote so many different avenues, if you will, on this show. So we want to really unlock that mentality, connect people with people who are doing it in a certain field, and inspire the ability to, whether you like science or not, to think critically and to solve the various problems present in society.
Wow.
Right. Absolutely. And I can't say it. I can't add to it. I can't do my own spin on that. That's exactly what our goal is. So I'm not even going to answer that question because he already did it for the both of us. But is there anything that you like to leave the audience with regarding being an influencer in STEM, being a molecular scientist, just being you? Like, what are some of the things that you would like to leave the audience with before we go?
Yeah, I think that one thing lately that I notice is that a lot of people come to me advice about being an influencer in STEM, or really just trying to figure out how to create a platform for themselves and do X, Y, and Z, become a public figure, whatever. And they ask for advice, and I give advice. I give the best advice I can, but the issue is a lot of people don't believe in themselves. So I give them this advice. They're seeking advice. They want to do things, but ultimately, because they fail to actually believe that they can do the things that they are setting out to do, you know, they don't really implement the advice. They don't, they're not really following through on things. And so, and I think that a lot of people don't even realize they don't believe in themselves. They haven't really sat down with themselves and done the introspective work and meditating on their process and how, you know, their self-esteem even, and how they're talking with themselves. And you know, I think people really just need to spend some time learning about themselves and cultivating that confidence, cultivating that belief in yourself, and then go out and kill it, right? But you can't do all this if you don't believe that you can do it. So yeah, I think like when you're seeking a mentor, when you're seeking advice, when you're trying to find your way, the first step is doing work on yourself. And then, you know, you get out there and you start killing it and you start building, but you need that foundation internally before you can even start reaching out to other people and trying to do all these other things. Like, work on yourself first. And that is the most rewarding work, in my opinion. It makes everything else that you do so much better because you have that foundation. So that's my advice for everybody tonight. It can be applied in different ways, but like whatever that means to you, you know, there it is.
Yeah, we definitely agree. Right. Build your brand, build yourself up first before you go out and seek to work with others. I love that. And we've been learning that the hard way on the OMS side of things. And we've been applying those different concepts we've been learning along the way. So we appreciate that. And how can people contact you? What's your social media handles? Any other ways we can reach you?
Google me. No, I'm playing.
hey, I like. Hey, talk your stuff. Go ahead. Talk your stuff.
I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. But seriously, like, if you do Google Raven the Science Maven, all of my social media profiles come up. You can just type in Raven the Science Maven on major platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Actually, I'm on TikTok as well. And I have a lot of exciting projects that I'm coming out with this summer and in early fall of this year. So definitely be on the lookout for all of that. And thanks for having me on the show. This was really fun. I don't normally accept like podcast interviews, but like I was like, yo, I really want to talk with these guys. They seem like they're really about their stuff, and they just seem like
awesome. Thank you.
I'd love to come back as well. So if you ever need another, I see Kelly's coming back. Like, yo, let me come back.
That's dope. We're gonna talk our stuff for a minute. You're not the first person to tell us you don't normally do podcasts, but the show's ours. Y'all, listen. I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is use your brain juices for a minute, right? The more you legitimately love what you do, real people recognize that and are attracted to you, right? That's just how the universe works. So we do our best, and this is not we do our best to actually like what we do and to know what we're talking about and to give a certain energy. So when you say something like that, I'm like, man, out of all the requests she probably gets, she looked at the STEM files and was like, man, Jabril funny. No, I'm like, she looked at the STEM files and was like, man, I really like it. I like this platform. I want to see what these guys are about. So we really appreciate it. You know, thank you. That's definitely kudos for us to like fuel for us. Yeah. We would definitely have you back. Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, the thing about that is like, when people ask you to come on a podcast, you often are going to get into some deep stuff. You know, people are asking you about your life experiences. They're asking you to talk about X, Y, and Z and really dig deep. And I don't want to do that unless I feel like it's a safe space, unless I feel like I can talk to people who can really engage with that deep conversation and can even maybe perhaps even relate to me on some type of level so that we can really get deep in conversation. Because that's how I like to talk to people, especially on this one-on-one basis. I don't really like superficial, haha, Kiki, I'm just here to talk about like, haha. No, like I want to have deep, engaging conversations. So when y'all reached out and I saw what y'all were talking about, I was like, yo, let's go. Let's go. This seems like a great fit. So y'all keep up the great work. I can't wait to see how you grow in the future.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Likewise. Absolutely. Well, family, this has been the STEM. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. You good? Go ahead, bro.
Oh
Well, I'm
no!
going to close this out. He'll be back. Family, this has been another great edition of the STEM Files, the voice of STEM talent in Black culture. I am Jabril Engineer, always joined by Tariq Cardiac. Yeah, Raven, the science maven. Yes, family, we have depth on this show. Tune in for more as we continue to strive to build this platform for you all's benefit. Family, it's been an awesome time. Until next time, I'm going to have to come back on. And now, this has been the STEM Files. See y'all next time.
Peace.
Bye.